Welcome back, aliens. My name is Davin Reddy, and in this video, let's try to understand this code. Now, this code is not that difficult, but since you are a beginner, you might face issues understanding this code. Now, this code will be useful once you start working on advanced framework, or maybe if you are working with a project where you want to represent some data. Now, whenever you have a huge amount of data, we try to store the data in an array or in a list so that you can fetch. But sometimes we come across this type of code. So let's try to understand what this means. To understand this code, let me go back to this Eclipse here. What I will do is, first of all, to understand that code, we have to understand two concepts. One is array and one is list. So this is a prerequisite for this video. Now, if you don't know this, do watch the array video and the list video. I do have that in the playlist. So once we got an array and list concept, let's say, why do we create an array? So first of all, whenever you want to have a collection of elements, whenever you want to have a fixed size collection of the elements, you go with the array, right? Example, let's say if I want to go for the integer array, so I would say integer, and the way you specify array, you say nums, and you say a square bracket equal to new integer. You can go with the int as well, but just to represent this example, I'm going for integer array. Basically, integer is a class in Java. So we got integer array, and we can also have a string array here. So we can say string names, and this would be equal to new string. And let's say the size is always 5, and then we can have one more. This is also integer, but then this time we'll go with marks and equal to new integer. And if I say again, the size would be 5. Now you can see we got this three array. Now the problem with this array is the size is fixed, right? Now the reason why we go with the list is because list we can have any number of values there. Now in the list, if I create a list object, if I say list obj equal to new, or maybe list, we can have the list object equal to new. Now list is an interface basically, so we have to use a class which is array list here to instantiate it. Now once you got the list object, in this list we can add any number of values, right? Example, if I say list.add, we can add a data which is of string type. I can say Naveen. I can say list.add. I can add a number as well, so I can say 45. In fact, we can also add a double value. You can add any type of values. What about array? So once you say integer array, that means you cannot have any other type. If you say string type, it will only support string. If you say integer, again, it will only support integer. Now in list, you can have any type of value. But what I want to have collection of array. Can you have a collection of array? We can try. So example, I can say, if I want to be very specific here, so if I specify string using generic, so this will support only string. You can see that we are getting error on this line. So when you say string, it will not support this part. But how about if I specify the nums, or if I specify the integer array? So when you specify integer, which means a list will have only integer collection. So in this add, now I can pass that nums. I can pass nums, even I can pass marks, list.add, and we can pass marks. So what it means, we have a list in which you are adding an array. So we have two arrays in one list. We can do that with the help of 2D array as well. But then using list, you don't have to specify the size of the array. So you can go with any number of arrays. Now, can I add the type which is of string? So if I say names, which is of type string, this will not work, right? Because the collection which you are passing is string and you're accepting only integer. Now, in this case, if you want to make it default, you can say object array. The moment you say object array, it will support all different types. So whenever you have a condition where you want to specify a list of array and you don't want to be specific with the type of it, you can go with the object array. In fact, you can go with the object itself because array is also an object. But then the moment you say object, you can also have normal values. Example, you can say list of dot, we can say 99 as well. I don't want to assign single value. The only value to support is an array. So for that, you have to mention an array. Now it will be easier for you to fetch the values as well. Example, if you want to fetch the value, of course, you have to use a two-dimensional array, one for fetching from the number of list or the elements of the list, and then once for fetching the object array. So the idea here is whenever you have an array of any type, you can say object array. And then this is a list of object array. So you can assign any array here. That's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comment section. And thanks so much for watching, everyone.